Like sometimes we have brothers that say Allahu Akbar during the dars and people look at them. No, they should. It should be an amazing thing when you benefit something new. Ibn Amir, he said, I went and I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that there is no Muslim who prays 2 rak'atayn, 2 units of prayer after making wudu in a way that is accepted, yani the zahir and the batin, the apparent and the inner is in accordance to what it should be. Meaning accordance to the sunnah, accordance having that khushu', that concentration in your heart, that connection with Allah, and having the ittiba' of sunnah, praying in an accordance, not like you're just up, down, banging your head, banging, 2 minutes you're done, thinking about everything except salah. No, whoever makes wudu and prays in a way that is accepted by Allah, in that correct way, that nobody will do that except that they will enter Jannah. Uqba ibn Amir said, I became very happy and I expressed my joy. Because he said, I learned this from the time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me about mu'awwidatayn. That when you benefit something, you should be happy. Like sometimes we have brothers that say Allahu Akbar during the dars and people look at them. No, they should. It should be an amazing thing when you benefit something new. And you should express that joy. Uqba ibn Amir said, I became very happy. I expressed my joy of learning something new. Then halaqah had finished and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got up. Umar ibn Khattab told him that, Ya Uqba, do you know something even more amazing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us before you came? Uqba ibn Amir said, Ya Umar, and teach me, tell me. Umar ibn Khattab told him that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if a Muslim makes wudu and afterwards says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika la, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. If he says this dua after wudu, then all of the 8 doors of Jannah are open for him. He can enter from any door he likes. Uqba bin Amir said, I became overjoyed. And he said, after this, I never left this dua. I never left this. Some people say it once and they're like, no, I'm done. No, this should become your habit. And here, when you're making this dua, after wudu, raising the finger is not mentioned in hadith. Some people think you have to raise the finger. To look up is mentioned in a weaker hadith. But this hadith is sahih. The dua is sahih. La, to raise raf al-yadayn in the dua after wudu is not mentioned in hadith. Uqba bin Amir, he used to have a beautiful recitation of the Quran, and he would stand at nights in the masjid and recite Qiyam al-Layl to himself. But he would recite it with a louder voice, and not very loud, but where it could be heard, and the Sahaba would come and sit close to him just to listen to his qira'at of Quran, his recitation of Quran. Because of his beautiful voice, because of what Allah blessed him from the Quran and his tadabbur, and he would cry reciting the Quran, and he would repeat ayat benefiting from them. Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu, during his khilafah, would call Uqba and he would say, Uqba, remind us of Allah, tell us about Allah. And Uqba ibn Amir would then at times recite the Quran, at times recite a hadith that he learned from the Prophet ﷺ, at times talk about different things that he benefited from the Prophet ﷺ, and Umar ibn Khattab would cry. He would cry remembering those days when they were benefiting from the Prophet ﷺ. Uqba ibn Amir, yes, he was from Ashab al-Sufa. And yes, he was from the people of knowledge who would benefit from the Quran and memorize the Quran and learn ahadith and learn fiqh and ahkam. But he was also from the people of qital, the people of jihad. And he went out and he fought alongside Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in jihad. And he fought alongside Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali. And continued until he was under the banner of Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. Uqba ibn Amir, he was from the people who fought many battles in Sham, in the area where Syria and Lebanon and Palestine and Jordan are today. In Damascus, he had captured many of the properties of the Crusaders, or at that time they weren't called Crusaders, the Romans, the Christians that were there. And from the ghanaim, from the spoils of war, Allah blessed them with much wealth in Sham. And when Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, the great Sahabi, under whose command Allah gives many victories against the Crusaders or the Christians, Uqba ibn Amir is the one that Abu Ubaidah just sent to give the glad tidings to Umar ibn Khattab, who was the Khalifa at that time, of the victory against the Christians. So he went and Umar saw him and he brought the good news, and Umar saw on his feet khuf, the leather socks. And he asked him, are you making masah on these? And he told him, yes. And he told him, this is the sunnah. And it's something amazing. I mean, the actual mas'ala is a little bit complicated. I'm not going to get into it here. But it's amazing that such a big victory has come. Yani the Roman Empire lost, and the Muslims who were few in number won, and huge areas were liberated. Allah gave such a victory to Islam, and even at that time Umar is teaching the Sahabi the fiqh of Tahara. He didn't say, oh, we just won. Who cares about khufs and these masail? Like, this is something we get today a lot. Sometimes we're discussing Tahara, we're discussing Salah, we're discussing Siyam and this, and somebody will be like, brother, there's people dying in this country and Muslims are going through this and you're stuck on these things. The reason we're losing because we forgot these things. We left the Salah. We left. How many Muslims pray today? Percentage-wise. Go around the Muslim world and you will be disappointed. How many Muslims are lost in sin? Go around the world. Sometimes us, we don't realize it because we live in this beautiful little bubble, which I love to live in. But then when you see outside, sometimes it's really disappointing. People tell me, why don't you have a Facebook and Instagram, and why don't you... to be honest, because I don't want to see what people are doing.